Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome back to another Sharing Sunday with me, Helen Armstrong from Pandrapops Crafting Joyful Moments. Today we're going to do another fun fold card. So this is a double fold bay window card where it has acetate in the middle. I am really enjoying using the acetate. Please, no comments about the fact why you're making Christmas cards in June. I've been doing some preparation for my Christmas and July classes, and this is one of the ones that we're going to be making. So yeah, I just thought I would do another version of it this morning. We're going to do something, I'm going to be making this one. We're going to be doing something like this, but not exactly the same. So yeah, so it folds out like that, stands up like that. And it's lovely. It really is nice. I'm not gonna lie here, it is it's a lot of preparation, a lot of work to make this card, but once you get used to cutting the bits out, it becomes quite easy and quite quick to actually do the cutting out. What you can do is make, if you're going to make lots of these cards, you would cut all your bits at the same time, which would then cut down the amount of time that you're spending doing all that cutting, because doing all the mat and layering can take that time. However, if you didn't want to do double matting, you could just do single matting and put your, instead of having the white background, you could just put your designer series paper straight on the back of the card. Oh, sorry, not on the back, straight on the card. Now, I haven't done the back of this one, but what you would do is this is where you would put your sentiment and your to and from and anything else that you wanted to write on the back of the card. This does fit into another 5x7 envelope. I am enjoying these slightly larger cards. So yeah, it does fit into a 5x7 envelope. Okay, so this one I used the set which is coming out in July. It's a July online exclusive, and it is the Pretty Poinsettia set. So I've used the Bright Christmas Wishes from, I think that's the only stamp I used. What I did use though was my dies. So I cut out the dies, they cut out the paper on Real Red, and then also, oh, what did I use? Let me quickly grab my pen, because I can tell you exactly what I used. Peaceful Pine. So I cut out the leaves with the Peaceful Pine. So these are really, really gorgeous dies. I have put two sets together because I'm using these a lot. So they come with these dies and they cut out the stamps. There's lots of gorgeous dies in this set. Yeah, and as I say, I then embossed it in gold embossing powder. Which just gives it that little bit more, I don't say elegant look, but something which is a bit, it just stands out better, I think. And then I've used the Real Red and White ribbon, which is also coming out in July as part of the stitch stocking set. So it is the stitch stocking dies that we're going to use this morning. So I'm using the stocking die, and I'm also going to use the May Your Days Be Merry and Bright from the stamp set of stitch stocking. Okay, what I did do with this one, I've already pre-done my stocking that I'm going to put on the acetate. So this is some of the paper that's from the stitch stocking set, and also this lovely Secret Sea and White snowflake. That's the other side of it, and that's also what I'm going to be using to add on the card this morning. So as usual, well, not as usual, but I will be putting all the directions, sorry, not the directions, the measurements in the description of the video. I'd also like to very much say thank you to Sam Coldcott, who is on YouTube, for sharing these videos with us, because it is Sam that has shared this bay window card on her YouTube video, on YouTube, on our channel. Yeah, and I just thought that this would be great one to do. So thanks again, Sam, for sharing that with us. Okay, so I'm going to put everything out the way just for now and bring in my card, because the first thing we have to do is we need to do some scoring. So I've already pre-cut my card. So this piece of card is, it's real red and it is 11 by 7 inches. We are doing inches today. And we need to score it. We need to score it at 1.5. Make sure I put my blade out of the way. 1.5. And we need to score it at 3. We need to score it at 8. And then at 9.5. Okay, move that to one side. We then need to bring in...
The garage door has been left open for over 5 minutes.
That tells you my husband's in the garage doing some jobs. Yeah, so the garage door has been open. The next bit, we need these 2 pieces, and these ones are 1.5 inches by 11, and they are these bits that go across the bottom and top of the card. And again, we are scoring these at 1.5, 3, 8, and then 9.5. Okay, do our last one. So again, 1.5, 3, 8, and then 9.5. Okay, so I'm just going to leave those to one side. The next thing I'm going to bring in is all my bits of cardstock that I've cut out and designer series paper. And then we're going to start gluing and sticking. So, don't need those just yet. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to use our, this is the biggest piece you're going to cut. And this is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and we are sticking some designer series paper, which is 4.5 by 6.5. So we're just dropping 1/4 inch each time that we're sticking this down. Okay, let me just lift that up so I can see. Okay, and then we have some of our larger pieces here, which are going to go down the side of our card, and these ones are 1 1/4 by 6 3/4, and then we have a 1 inch strip by 6.5. We're just going to add those on. But make sure, again, one of the reasons I'm using my Tombow green glue is that we can do that little bit of wiggle if we need to, if we've not adhered it straight the first time. Okay, they're okay. And then the next ones we have are 2 at 1 1/4 by 3 3/4, and our designer series paper is 1 at 3.5. As I say, these measurements will all be in the description. Okay, next ones are 1 1/4 across by 4 3/4 going down, with our designer series paper being 1 by 4 1/4. And it just gives you that nice border going around, if you can get it straight. Yeah, same again for this second one. And then the last thing we need to do is stick all our little squares of DSP to our squares of card. So we have 8 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 and 8 1-inch square DSP. So I hope everybody's had a really good week. If you haven't, let's hope next week will be a better week for you. Yeah, this week's been again very busy. It doesn't seem to stop, the busyness. Because I do work full time, but I also post every day on my Facebook channel something, whether that's a new technique on a Thursday. I go live on a Wednesday on Facebook where we do started making cards, where I give you the instructions the day before, or the dimensions the day before, everything that you need, and then you can make along with me on the Wednesday night, and that is normally at 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And I know that doesn't work obviously for a lot of people who are outside of the United Kingdom, but yeah, so I do that. On a Tuesday we do a sketch or template Tuesday where I give you something to work on, and you can, if you do something, it's great to see, post. Yeah, and some of you that have watched me before also know that I do in-person classes as well. So as I said before, some of these will be used. Why is that not looking quite right? Okay, do I have a spare? I think I do. That's not looking quite right. Don't think I cut that correctly. Yeah, so I do in-person classes where I have normally 4 maximum people come round once a month to do card making. July's a bit different because we're doing a class every week. So if you are Cheshire based, Manchester based, if you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome in July or whenever you want to make our Christmas cards, which is what we're doing in July. In August, I'm doing an online class where I will send you the things to cut out and all the things you need to cut out and get prepped for it, all the instructions, and then we'll be doing a live video with that one. So yeah, lots of things coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. I've got my husband being very busy cutting out lots of card for me on designer series paper. So yeah, busy. But I think I prefer being busy than not. And the good news is that we have some very nice weather at the moment here in the United Kingdom. It's going to get very warm next week, up to 37 or 37 degrees, I think, down in the south. Here it's going to get to a maximum of about 32. So that'll be very nice towards the end of the week. All right, now we have all our bits cut out, we've scored. Now we need to just assemble our card. I'm just going to move my acetate. Okay, so we need to get our bone folder. So if you've got a bone folder, great. If you don't, just use the edge of your fingers. So we're going to, this one, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back and then bring it forward. So you're going to do a mountain and then a valley fold. And what we need to do is burnish those as best as possible. Okay, and the same on the other side. So it's a mountain fold first, then a valley fold. And just make sure that when you're doing it, you can try and match up the bits as best as possible. Again, mountain, valley, and then mountain, and then valley. Okay, so now we have those bits ready to go on the card, and we're going to now score our card itself. So this one again is, let me just remember, valley first, and then mountain. Okay, so then we have valley and then mountain. There we go. But before we start, I'm going to start sticking some bits in first. This is how I did it. Sam Coldcott did it slightly differently. She attached various bits and pieces and then slid things up. I just found it easier to do it this way. So yeah. So I'm just busy going to put my glue on the back if it decides to work. Again, you don't need masses of glue. As long as you go around the edges, it will stick and it will stay in. I'm just turning it on its side just so I can make sure that I am lining this up as best as possible. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Okay. All right, and then we're going to put our large panels down here. As I say, you can do this after you've put your strips going across the middle, but I just found it easier to do it like this. So again, you're going to try and center them as best as possible. With my other strip. So as I said, once you've got all your bits cut out and stuck, it doesn't take long to actually make the card, to put it together. It'd be interesting to know if there's anybody else like me who has already started their Christmas cards. I actually started my Christmas cards, I think it was April. Because I know I've got a busy time coming up. So yeah, that was what I did. Right, so I put my strips down. I'm now going to close off my card and I'm going to bring in these strips. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to put some glue on the back. Sorry with all the noises, that is just my husband going about his general Sunday day-to-day things. I know it's Father's Day here in America and in the United Kingdom. We are going out later. We're taking advantage of the fact, sorry, I'm twisting things around. Taking advantage of the fact that it is going to be a lovely day and we're heading to one of our local beer gardens where we're going to sit, have a bit of a drink, some snacks, and just enjoy some family time. That is our plan. Okay, so I've stuck that down, but I'm not happy because I have a bit of overlap here. So I'm going to see if I can undo this one and ensure that it's stuck better. Okay, but I think that's slightly better. And then we're going to turn it round and we're going to do the one at the top. So again, so if we have our card like that, we're going to put glue on the back of each of these bits here. So starting off with one side. Just holding it for a second or two. Say a second, it's always longer than a second, isn't it? Again, I'm just going to lift that because I'm not happy with how it's sighted. I don't want it going off the side of the card, that's better. Okay, and we're going to do the same here. Oh. Okay, just layer it down, make sure it's in position. And you're happy with its placement. Okay. So now back to gluing and sticking. So these ones are going to go here. So let's put those on. So yeah, so Father's Day, drinks and snacks and games. We take a pack of cards, Uno with us. We actually have taken Scrabble with us before when we've gone out. But that can cause, I don't know about anybody else, Scrabble arguments tend to be the worst. So maybe not doing that on Father's Day. We are a very competitive family. We do not like losing. Yeah. So the next ones are going to go across the top here. Or the bottom, whichever one you want to do first. Again, you just got to make sure that they're as centered as possible. And then the last thing we need to do with putting our bits on are our 8 little pieces, which are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So again, I mean, I'm doing this quite quickly. If you were doing this, take your time so you can then make sure that all the bits are done. What you could, are centered properly. Done. Well, that's a strange word to use. What you could have done, you could, if you wanted to, before attaching this long piece, you could have added your 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 strips, squares, if you wanted to. So 4 on the bottom and then 4 on the top. Always, just going to give you a little bit of a hint, always as well, if you are using designer series paper that has a direction, make sure that you're cutting it in the correct direction. So what you don't want to have, say if you're doing this as flowers, as the flowers sitting down, I mean you can just flip it, but you've got to make sure that all of them are either in the wrong direction or in the right direction. You could, please don't do a mixture because it may look wrong. Yeah. So you always be aware of the direction of your designer series paper. This snowflake with the Secret Sea background is one of my favourites out of the new designer series paper for stitch stocking. I'm a bit of a sucker for snowflakes. Maybe because I absolutely adore the snow when we get it. We haven't had much snow for the last couple of years here in the northwest of England. Okay, so that's our last bit to go on. Okay, so as I say, what you would do is then you could put a, just trying to think would be the best size. You could put a 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 strip, which will go right to the edge, or you could do a 4 1/2 by 6 1/2 white bit on the back to, you know, put your greetings on and what have you. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to side just for 1 minute, and then we're going to bring in the acetate. Now, if you get any marks on your acetate like I've just done there, if you've got any rubbing alcohol or one of those glass cleaner wipes, you can absolutely use that to clean your designer series paper. Oh, I've just realised my hands are very sticky now. Oh, let me just grab my wipes. So I don't really want to get too many marks on the acetate. So yeah, rubbing alcohol of around about 70%, or those wipes that you can get from the, well, anywhere really, glass wipes. Okay, so I'm actually going to stick this in first so I can just see where I'm layering. To do this, I'm going to add some tearing tape. Ooh. So I'm just going to add tearing tape to the window sheet. It's really good at sticking it down. Tearing tape, it just tears, it's great, I love it. You only need one at either side because it does stick really well. Okay, see, I'm getting my finger marks all over it. I will have to get myself a glass cleaner. As I say, I can do that after I finish the card, it's not a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to slide this up underneath. And what I want to do is try and centre it in the middle. Okay. What I must do is really get rid of that little bit. Oh, we've got a tiny bit of sticky at the back here. I need to get rid of that, otherwise the card will stick to the inside of the other bit. So if I just peel that off, and what I'm doing is tucking it in. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to stick down my stocking. Now I can use tearing tape if I want to. I can make it stick out if I want to, which I think I actually might do. I didn't make the other one stick out massively. Right, let's get my dimensionals. And let's just add some dimensionals. Okay, now I know you can see these from behind, but because it's the card's floating at the front, you're not really looking behind the actual stocking, because the idea is that it's floating at the front of the card. Okay, we'll just put those down, stick it about there. All right, okay. Now, I have pre-cut, using our party alphabet dies, a J, a Y for joy, and a zero, an O, don't know whether I want to put it on. If I do put it on, I'm going to have it standing off the stocking. I think it actually detracts from the stocking a little bit. I don't know whether we could get away with having the J and the Y and then having the stocking. I think I'm going to have to put the O on, but I'm not 100% with it. But let's just go with it for now. What I did when I put these, when I cut these letters out, I put it on adhesive sheets. So I just needed to peel the backing off the adhesive sheet, and then we're going to attach them to things. I just thought it would make life a little bit easier. So these are nice and sticky. So there's my J. Let's put the Y on. And then we can get to stamping our sentiment and put our bow on. Okay, so just thinking, is that similar? You know what, turn the card would be easier. Okay, and I am going to stick the O on it, but I think, do I want it? I'm going to put it on dimensionals. I am going to put it on dimensionals. You know I love my dimensionals, so I'm going to put it on the dimensionals. So let me know in the comments whether you have started your Christmas card making, or do you wait until the last minute? Do you wait and see what is coming out before you make a decision on what your Christmas cards? I, as I say, started mine in April, but I do have an awful lot to make. Because every one of my customers who buys from me will get a Christmas card this year. Okay. Okay, I'm not 100%, but let's just roll with that. Right, I'm going to quickly tie my bow because I want to put my bow on my stocking. So I'm just looping it round, going underneath, pulling it through. I mean, you know me, I do not do bows well. I do like this ribbon though, it does tie really well. Okay. And then I think what I might do is I might use one of our dots that we have. These have actually come out of a paper pumpkin kit. Let's peel those off if I can. Terrible at peeling things off at the moment. Okay, well, I've got one of them off, I think. There we go. And there's the other one. And we're just going to stick the bow down. On there. I might put another dot just to keep my ribbon down. I don't know. I'm not happy with that placement. not sure. Don't know whether it's any better or not. Don't know, but I am talking to myself quite a lot today, aren't I? Yeah. Don't know about anybody else, but do you talk to yourself when you're crafting? I know I do. All the time. I'm going to put this blue dot. Okay, get rid of that. And then bring that down. Okay. Ah, better. That is better. I'm happy with that. Okay. Now we're going to do a tiny bit of stamping. We don't have a lot of stamping to do. So I'm just going to grab my stamp. And we're going to use Secret C to pull in that blue. And I'm going to use this one, which is the May all your days be merry and bright. Stick it on my block. Okay, I need to give it a bit of a season because I've not used this one. And let's straighten it up a little bit, just makes the job a little bit easier. Okay, bring in the Secret C. Let's hope I don't get my fingers in it as normal. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, managed. I thought I'd managed it, but no, managed to catch the tip. I am getting my nails done next week, so I can't decide what colour I'm going to go on the tip, unfortunately. Still not got an idea. Right, I am going to just trim this using my scissors. Now, you could use your paper trimmer if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you using your paper trimmer. It'll be a lot straighter than mine will be. Okay, let's just turn this round and go across the top now. Okay. Now we could have it down here, or we could have it up there. Ooh, what do we think? What do we think? Anyway, whilst we're thinking, let's put some strips on so we can put it on. Okay. There or up there. Oh, I think I'm heading down for doing it here. Okay. I think, we do need to move that up. Okay, so don't press down until you're happy with your placement. I just want to ensure that I'm relatively straight. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I do have, if we can find them, I do have, let me just double check my bits and pieces. Yep, so I do have my buttons, which are part of the, this is part of the suite. So yeah, I just thought I'll quickly show you. So the dies, this is what the dies cut out. This is what the stamps are like from that stocking. Okay, so I'm going to think. I think I'm going to use a white one up here on my stocking. And then I'm going to use a red. Oh, that red looks like it's lost, doesn't it? Let's stick to white. Let's stick to white. Yeah, that's better. So one down here. And then I think let's do one on our acetate. So we've got a very big triangle. Do we want something up there? I'm not sure. Anyhow, I will clean up the acetate after the video. You don't need to see me cleaning the acetate. So there we go. These are our cards. So it's a bay window card, and yet again, thanks very much to the wonderful Sam Colcott for her idea, because it's stunning. They look absolutely beautiful. Let me know which is your favourite, whether it's the stocking or whether it's the poinsettia. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend and you are lucky enough to get some gorgeous weather. And also have a really fantastic week next week. And I'll see you next Sunday. All right, everybody. Craft your joy. Take care. Bye.